Welcome back. Now, everybody loves a dinner option that saves time and limits waste. So a Moroccan tagine is the perfect go-to solution. Edward Hayden joins us this morning from his cookery school in Kilkenny to demonstrate how to make beef, chilli and sweet potato tagine. Oh, sounds delicious, Edward.
It's absolutely gorgeous, Tommy. I think I've told you before about recipes that are a hug in a bowl, but this is definitely a hug in a bowl, and it's just nice for this springtime weather.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about this can be used the next day as well, so it's perfect to eat tonight and then also maybe have it the next day or even stick in the freezer, as you said.
Absolutely perfect. And I think, Tommy, people are doing that, you know, when they're looking to make an effort of cooking the dinner, they want to get a bit of longevity out of it. So again, lots of households that are watching in this morning maybe kind of cook for 2 days at a time, and they kind of have the same dinner on 2 consecutive days, or maybe stick it in for the following week for the freezer. And this is a perfect one of those dishes. It just rewarms really, really gently, really, really tasty. And obviously the maturation of flavours is very evident on the second day as well. So this is a kind of a tick, 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 all of the boxes, and Tommy. So you will love this. I know this is going to be a staple in the Bow household after this. Okay,
well, what sort of preparation is needed as you get started there?
Very simple, Tommy. I'm just going to first marinate the beef. So I've just got some stewing beef here in my bowl, and I'm going to add some nice spices to it. Now, as always, my word of caution with these spices that you buy, Tommy, is make sure that they're fresh and in date. They've only got a certain amount of time. It's quite forgiving, but once it's over, it's over. So you want to have them when they're nice and fresh and pungent. So I'm getting some chili powder in here. I'm putting some chili powder on the beef. I'm also putting a little bit of cinnamon onto it, and I'm also putting a little bit of cumin, which is very reminiscent of that North African and Middle Eastern cooking. I've also got a few dried herbs. I'm using a little bit of dried oregano here, and I've also got just a little pinch of sugar just to add a nice bit of additional caramelization to the beef. To that, I'm just going to add in the smallest little bit of oil, Tommy, and you can see I've just popped on a glove here just to kind of get my hands in there and give that a nice little mix around. Now, as always, what I would say to you is, if you've got the time, leave that to marinate a little bit. Just for the purposes of TV, I'm just going to proceed straight ahead. But at home, people could leave that to marinate for a half an hour or an hour, or even overnight if time permitted. Okay. This is a lovely dinner party dish as well, so whilst it's suitable for midweek cooking, it's also nice for that special occasion. And then into the pan we're going to go with that, Tommy.
Plenty of oil in there as well.
Yeah, a nice bit of oil just to make sure that that doesn't stick. And I'm using the rapeseed oil. Rapeseed oil is the one that I use throughout all of the cooking. And that means that it can sustain a high temperature without it burning or charring your food. So I use the rapeseed oil for everything. And you can just see there, I'm cooking it. It's not sticking anything. And that's one of the other tips that I give you, Tommy, with lots of cooking. Not so much necessary in beef, because beef has a lot of its own fat, as does lamb. But if you're cooking like chicken or bacon or pork, things that don't have a huge amount of fat, do as I've done, which is oil the pan and also oil the meat product. And that means that when you have fat meeting fat, that they won't tend to stick or burn. So that's just cooking really nicely. And you can see I'm cooking it at a good robust heat. So I'm not being any way cautious about the heat. I'm keeping it nice and hot throughout. And you can just see, Tommy, that that's starting to brown up really, really nicely. Again, you'll allow that a little extra minute or two at home, but I'm just going to proceed ahead. I've got some chopped garlic here. Now, everything I have already and very simple, but people can adjust the recipe, and I've often said that to you before, change the recipe to suit yourself. I'm using some garlic, I'm using some onions, and I'm using some cubed sweet potato. But think of maybe taking some peppers or courgettes in there at this stage. Think of taking celeriac. Think of taking, you know, fennel or leeks, lots of things that you have in your fridge, and adding all of those into it at that stage. Wow. I'm just going to give those a nice mix around. Doesn't it look lovely already, Tommy?
It looks, I can nearly smell it. Yeah, it looks great.
Oh, I'm telling you. I'm missing giving you all a nice taste of the dishes. That's Edward, the only difference, Tommy.
We are missing it so much. We really are. And that looks delicious. Oh, I'd love that.
But listen, the fullness of time will reunite us all. Now, in there we're going to go with our salt and pepper, and again give that a nice look. But you can see even already, Tommy, that kind of the aromatic spices that were on the meat is now coming off onto the vegetables as well and glazing all of that up. Now, the next stage is a stage that people often worry about, and that's the kind of the flour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some flour. That's going to dry up all of the kind of the meat and the vegetables there and kind of cause the thickening agent. If I can just let you see it, Tommy, up close, you can just see that it just gets quite dry and quite ruffled, and it looks as if you've gone horribly wrong at this stage, but not so. Okay, keep it going. And then in there I'm going to go with a lovely tin of tomatoes. Okay, so pop all of those in, and I'm also going to add in some nice, good quality beef stock as well. Mix all of that together, and what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to give that a nice quick stir as it comes to the boil, Tommy. You can see I'm going right down to the bottom of the pan there with that. And then I'm going to transfer that into a casserole dish. Okay? So what I would do is I'd just let that come up to the boil. I would transfer it into the casserole dish, just like so, just an oven-proof casserole dish, and stick that into the oven for about an hour and a half. After an hour and a half, we're going to take it out, Tommy, and I'm going to add in my few final ingredients to it. So I have one in the oven there. So I'll just grab that.
Looking forward to seeing this.
And this is absolutely fabulous. Now we have a few little bits still to go into it. Just be very careful. It's scalding hot. Okay, so just another few little bits to pop in there. I've got my chickpeas. So I've got a half tin of chickpeas or a small tin, whichever you prefer. I've got some raisins there as well, or some sultanas, and just a small little bit of orange zest. Works really nicely. I don't put that in earlier. Sometimes if you like that really flavour of orange, intense flavour of orange, you could put it in a bit earlier. I just find if it's cooked in there for too long, Tommy, you'll end up with nothing other than only a taste of orange off that. Wow. Now if I just, oops-a-daisy, pull out my tea towel, but I just give that a good stir there and serve it up. Look at that, it's absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to just take some of that lovely tagine, going to pop it out into my bowl there, just like so. And of course, as would always happen when you're on live television, you'll spill a little bit on the bowl. And that's allowed.
That looks like
then
a
what I'm going to do is
winter warmer.
It's a perfect winter warmer, and I've just got some chopped parsley there, or chopped herbs, or maybe even some flaked almonds that you could spill over the top of that. And Tommy, I swear to God, that's kind of like a dinner on the couch with the telly now. That will just go to your very heart. A
nice bit of bread with butter, and I'd stick it in, scoop it out. Edward, that looks absolutely delicious. We want you back in the kitchen so I can actually eat it. But thank you again.
Slán, Tommy, bye.
Slán, yeah. Thank you very much, Edward. Cheers.